Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is part 2 in our series on novice teachers, where we focus on building authentic student relationships. The child who never participates, the one who rolls their eyes when you speak, they might be the one real connection away from becoming your star student. Today we'll share with you 5 simple strategies to build relationships that transform your classroom starting this week. So why do relationships rule? When I first started teaching, I thought mastering my content was enough, but let me tell you, I soon discovered it wasn't. You see, I met a boy called Craig, a boy who slept through every class until I discovered he was working night shift to support his family. When I started acknowledging his effort, he became one of my most engaged students. I'm sure that you have had a similar experience with a student, maybe not the same reason. The research is clear that the more students are engaged and the more engaging the environment is made for them, the less disruptive they are and the less disruptive behavior is on display in your classroom environment. But I know what most novice teachers fear. Reaching out to students, you might feel that they might reject you. In other words, they may not like you. But you have to flip that script. The real question is, how can I show them that I believe in them? A young teacher said, I spent weeks perfecting lessons, and Jamie still wouldn't even look at me. And one day I asked him about his skateboard. Now, he's the first to answer my questions. You see, relationships aren't about being cool. They're about being curious. And we're hoping that the 5 strategies that we share with you will show you how to do that. So what are these connection strategies? The first is something called the 2x10 rule. I'm going to encourage you to take 2 minutes over the next 10 days to talk to your student that you believe is the most disruptive or the most challenging in your classroom. And I'm going to ask you not to ask them about their homework, or why they never did their homework, or why they don't have stationery, but rather to ask and focus on things that is of interest to that learner. In other words, ask them about their favorite YouTuber. What do they do outside of the school environment? What is life like at home? What is it they do on Saturdays? What is their favorite movie? Do they like pets? You get the essence of what I'm trying to share with you. That you try and connect with them around something that is unrelated to school, but is of interest to them. And then just listen to what they have to say. This works because it's consistent, it's casual, and shows that you're as human as they are. A second strategy is to have a routine of greeting at the door. There are many examples across social media where teachers share their best practice around how to create and stimulate and foster relationships with their children. Door greetings is a very popular one. You can have a series of high fives, you can kneel down and hug, you can silently wave. All I'm suggesting is that whatever strategy you use at your door entrance, that you please remember to use the name of the child. Don't say you, he, she. Call them on their name, whether it's Pippa, whether it's Jamie, whether it's Jamal, whether it's Pratna. Use their name and make it personal and make eye contact with your students so that they feel that you're actually interested in them as human beings. A third strategy is to listen more than you talk. Encourage them to talk about themselves. Tell me more about that. How did it make you feel? What do you think you'll do? Just remember, when a student shares, to resist the urge to fix or lecture the student. Just say that sounds hard if a difficult story has been shared. Watch their shoulders relax, because finally an adult isn't telling them what to do. The fourth strategy is something called strategic vulnerability. And this allows you as a teacher to share some of your own failures. For example, I bombed out in my matric exam. I failed in my 3rd term in grade 5. But whatever the case is, whatever example you wish to use, show students that you're as human as they are. See, when you do that, they'll suddenly realize that you're not just an authoritative figure in the classroom, but you're actually someone who's been there and had similar experiences as theirs. A 5th strategy is called interest inventories. I suggest that you create a survey with a couple of questions on it, and you ask your learners to complete the survey. These questions can focus on numerous things around talent, for example, around what is it that they enjoy in a cultural setting. Do they do sport? What's their favorite subject? What is their favorite area in a particular subject? Once you've collated this information, use it as part of your set of tools that you have available to you when you engage and interact with students during lessons. So, for example, if you know somebody in the class has a particular interest in mathematics, that when you do a particular piece of work, that you reference the fact, and oh, by the way, Roger, I know you like fractions. So maybe you want to take us through the explanation of this particular piece of the work. What that then does is draw the learners into your environment in a very authentic way, because the learner recognizes that you recognize as the teacher that they have a particular skill or they have a particular interest, and you're embracing that for the better good in your classroom, and they are then made to feel that they're part of and not just sitting there to be told and to be taught. Do understand, though, that there's something called boundaries or love. And what that basically means is we're in an environment these days where social media is engaged with by your learners, but you also have your own particular profiles on social media. And so you may find yourself being confronted by learners who want to access your social media profile. And the truth of the matter is that you have to set boundaries in that regard. For example, that you clearly articulate to your learners that you are not going to share your Instagram profile or your TikTok profile with them, that you are not going to take WhatsApp messages from them. If they have a particular issue, that they deal with it in class or come and see you after class, or that their parents potentially drop you an email. You see, warmth plus professionalism builds trust that lasts. We have seen on social media the level of conflict this can generate when those lines are blurred. So keep it separate, protect your professional space, and especially in today's age of social media, which is really rampant, and there are so many platforms on which we all engage, to set boundaries around that so that learners know that your social media presence has got nothing to do with your role and your warmth and your kindness and your care for them as a teacher in the professional space of your classroom. So what is it in closing that I'd like you to try over the next one? Of the 5 strategies, I'm asking you to try one of them. Whether it's the 2x10 rule that you use with your toughest child in the classroom, or your personalized door greeting, or whether you have a connection challenge, use one of them, if not all, and execute them over the next while consistently, and see what a difference it makes when your learners start feeling that you're not just there as a bearer of knowledge, but you're actually a human being that is interested in their well-being and building a relationship with them that extends beyond the content of the curriculum. I'm sure if you have not done this yet, that you will feel the positive effects of using one of these strategies. I'm sure there are other strategies and maybe using other strategies as well. But try these and see if it makes a difference in your classroom environment in terms of building relationships with your students. This brings us to the end of this video. We trust the hints that were shared today you will find value in. If it's been useful, I ask that you please like this video, that you subscribe to the channel, and that you press the notification bell so that you're alerted when the next video arrives. Until the next time, stay well.